It's a new night. It's a new night for the Pontificators. Yeah, you guys. This is going to be a good night. I didn't do the show last night because I thought it would be good to get Graham Nolan all the attention because he was closing down his Frankenstein book. So it went real well for him. So I'm glad of that. So and we've been kind of talking in the green room and stuff, the guys and myself, about Pontificators trying maybe a new night. So, hopefully this works out. I know there's still a lot of competition, man. I saw all the live streams going up, and I guess maybe it's just gonna always be like this, So we just stand our ground on Wednesday nights. But anyways, you guys, anybody that we can get in, it's all good. This is interactive, so feel free to speak your mind, even if it's not so pleasant. Feel free, and we're gonna try our best to entertain you. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got a few campaigns I'd like to focus on. We got some mainstream comic book nuttiness, and we got some trailers. We got the Captain America trailer that we'll do some breakdown. We'll get some insight, some Pontificator insight, and find out what you guys think of it. And we might even treat you to some Deadpool stuff. Yeah, it could be cool. But before we go any further, I want to see what you guys are saying. So we got Leg Kick. What's up, brother? We got Edwin the Ace. Volume 3 is live. It's live. We're gonna do it live. Hell, peeps. Yeah. So yeah. Let's get some of the Pontificators in here. Let's get Mr. Clint Holinsky in here.
Arteeter. Always good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, good to see you too. Partner in crime, man.
In these trying times.
Let's see if we can do this. The high five to the side.
Figure Oh, my tricep.
I pulled my shoulder.
There goes my glute.
My glutes. Your glutes are your butt, isn't it?
It's all attached. It's all
attached.
Lower lumbar pain from sitting in the drawing chair for 30 years.
Yeah, hopefully it's still attached. That'd be horrible if it was not.
That might have been the end of it right there. No, crazy week.
Oh my
crazy
God.
Week in comics, crazy week in the real world. We're living in history right now. It's we'll get into all the stuff, but I think everybody kind of feels the same, that it's just wild.
Well, I thought it would be good. I mean, we'll get into that. I think it's good for people to talk, to air some of this stuff, see what's going on. But even, there's the Trump, assassination attempt. There's the comics industry losing its mind. There's Tenacious D, doing their shtick. But before that, I didn't think it was going to bug me that much, but we lost Bob Newhart. Yeah.
And I was a massive fan of Bob Newhart.
Yeah.
I grew up in Newhart in the 80s. Like that music played on Sunday night, and I was sitting and watching. And then he later on did the sitcom After Newhart, where he was a cartoonist, and then that even drew me in more to him. But he was one of those guys. He was a unique voice in comedy. Like he had his own little shtick that he did, and he did it to perfection. The stuttering, the stammering, the straight man kind of act. He was great.
Yeah, I mean, because he could disarm you, because you're thinking nothing's really going to come out of this guy that's going to be worth anything, and then he says something and it just cracks you up. I think it disarms you. I think the humor disarms you, and he had 3 sitcoms. He had the original Newhart. What was it? It was Newhart, then it was Bob Newhart.
No, Bob Newhart was the 70s one. First. Yeah, Bob Newhart was the 70s, where he was a psychiatrist, and then the Innkeeper was the 80s Newhart. Because the early part of his career was before my time. Like his Johnny Carson stuff, his 60s and 70s stuff was before my time. Newhart in the 80s, that was right in my window of watching that was like, basically when TV still existed, where like network TV shows had great comedies shows every night, and Newhart was one of them. Newhart was a classic.
Yeah, he was the innkeeper,
Yeah.
and he had he had wives in both sitcoms that were way out of his league.
Oh God.
That's kind of the sitcom norm, right? Where you have like either like the overweight guy or the really frumpy guy.
The mid guy with the knockout wife was like classic 80s sitcom.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's just institutionalized, right? It's just it's always there, and I think it's just part of what makes it interesting, because I had a theory years ago. Let's see if this still rings true. That most things that actually succeed and connect with people, there's something really peculiar about it. There's something odd, right? So like I used to use like Scooby-Doo, like Velma. Like what was Velma? Like what was that? And what were the dog and Shaggy always doing? Like why were they always hungry? Like there's all this stuff, right? And then there's like Batman and Robin, and then there's the Bat Pole, and there's like, you know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of like these like subtle odd things that are like even Michael Jackson was like an oddity, right? So there was always this weird thing surrounding him, but the music was still really good, and all that. So I had a theory that there was always something peculiar. Space Ghost, there was a monkey. Like there's always something kind of peculiar. Like even Friends, didn't that guy have like some kind of weird pet?
He had a monkey for like 2 seasons, I think. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. He had a monkey. Yeah, like there's always like something kind of odd, and so I think like having the hot wife is kind of one of those things. Like even Married with Children, kind of like she was kind of a bombshell. Like
they like put her up to the trashiness, but like like underneath all the wig and the spandex, like she was like she was
ba ba boom.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's not very many women in Hollywood that could pull that outfit off.
No, exactly.
But yeah, so there's always like something odd and peculiar. But Bob Newhart definitely has some smoking wives, his TV wives, and I think just history, like sitcom history, was the end of was it just called The Newhart Show? That was the one where he's the innkeeper and he wakes up and it was all a dream.
Yeah, the series finale, and then he wakes up to Plachette again, his wife from the original series, and he's like, I had the weirdest dream. I was married to this beautiful woman, and I was living in this small town in New Hampshire, and there was just all these odd characters. There was these 3 brothers that came out of the woods. The classic Larry, Daryl, and Daryl. I love Larry. Like that was a great bit. Larry, Daryl, and Daryl every showing up.
I'm Daryl. This is my brother Daryl. My other brother Daryl.
My other brother Daryl. But then, like he rambles through what the whole premise of the show was, and as a classic wife, tell me more about this beautiful wife you were married to. It's the only thing she focuses on. It was just a classic. It was a classic ending. So
it was perfect. So Jeff Platt says my parents had an album of Newhart's early stand-up stuff. The guy in his younger years was absolutely hysterical. I think he managed to reinvent himself. I mean, he's the best part of that movie Elf. Like I can't really stand that movie, to be honest. But he's the best part of that. It's him and who's the guy who plays the elf? The actor Will Ferrell. Yeah, because like I think Will Ferrell, he's hot or cold, and he's usually good when he's a supporting character. So kind of when he's in scenes with Bob Newhart, he kind of seems like a supporting character.
Well, he can play off him. He needs, and that's some of Bob Newhart's magic was he could set up. He was a perfect straight man. He could set up the joke, timing wise and everything. And there isn't a lot of comedy like that anymore because everybody's got to be like the over the top comedian guy. But he would set everybody up to do the funny bits, and he was perfect at that.
Yeah, I think you got to have a generous nature.
Yeah.
do that. And I think like some of the best actors and just even artists have that, because it's hard because you always want like the limelight on you, right? The attention. But then you realize if the project's going to succeed, then you got to be generous with the team, the people, because they have to shine too.
Yeah.
And if you get everybody to shine, then it's not just elements of this thing that you created, but it's the whole thing that you created that works. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the last Bob Newhart show was called Bob, and he was a comic book artist.
Yeah.
So and he did a superhero comic. The character was called Mad Dog.
Yeah.
And my friend Paul Powers, he was the guy that drew all the Mad Dog comic book stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so they did an episode where it was an award ceremony, and so Bob was up for like comic book artist of the year or something like that. And so what they thought would be cool is to get in this convention scene, this award ceremony scene, is to get comic book artists to fill the room up. And so they had a lot of like hot new guys, and then they had like a lot of like the guys that just pioneered, what we're all taking advantage of now. So like Jack Kirby was there.
Oh, neat.
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the guy, Doug Wildey, the Johnny Quest guy.
Okay.
Bob Kane,
wow.
Batman was there. Just a bunch of like killer old guys, and I mean, I think they all passed within a couple of years after that.
Wow.
But I got to hang out with those guys, and so I got invited to be one of those guys. So there was Jim Lee, there was Silvestri, and there was me, which kind of represented the new flavor of comics. And then they had the older guys too.
So you were on the set?
Yeah, I was on the show. Yeah.
No. Art, you got to tell us this whole story. Like this could be a whole show right here. like most people don't get to be on a set in a TV show and experience that whole experience.
Yeah, I was there for
every second of this.
I was there for the whole week. Yeah, so it was really cool. I mean, everybody on the show was amazing, and so there's Bob. Bob, we're talking about one of your people, Bob Newhart.
Bob, Art holds out on us. Like this is why we've got to like poke and prod Art. Art was on a sitcom, had the whole experience. And this is the first time ever hearing of it after being on the Pontificators for like well over a year.
I could have swore you mentioned something about that a long time ago.
Thanks
he
for
probably skipped over it like it was no big deal.
Yeah, he mentioned that it was like you and like J. Scott Campbell, a couple other guys were on there or something.
No, this was before. I think Jay was probably just breaking into the business at this point.
Oh, okay.
But it was early Image Comics days for sure. And so, we all got invited. You're going to have to play catch up, Bob. And so it was kind of a week of rehearsals. And then, I guess that's how those sitcoms work. And so then Friday, it goes live in front of an audience. And so then they just kind of, they do it all in order. Like they film the whole thing, like from beginning, middle, end, in order. So it is kind of like it's live. I'm sure they edit it. I think they do later. And I think they do two sweeps of it, maybe. So they, if one take isn't that good, then they can take from, the other and so on. But so I'm there, and the people were just amazing. So I don't know how this happened, but I was talking to one of the ladies, and she said, if you want, you can have like some of your friends or family come by and just hang out. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So my parents really never understood what I did for a living. This is one of those really cool things that I said, hey, Dad, Mom, you want to come down? I think it was at the Paramount lot, and I can get you in and all that other stuff. So I don't think my dad even said, I'm going to come down tomorrow or whatever. He just shows up, right? And I'm like, my freaking dad over there, And so my dad's really gregarious. He's really he's outgoing, and so he made all kinds of friends on the set. And so he's eating because they fed us and everything, and so he's
craft
eating
services.
craft service, and he's talking to like the director and like all these like power players on the show. And I'm like, Dad, do you know who that guy is? He goes, I don't know. I'm just hanging out with him. And so it was one of those really neat experiences that I look back. I'm like, it was one in a million. My dad was there for that one day, and then my brother came down one of the other days, and my brother was always a little bit of a poser. So it was like early 90s. So he had like a do-rag on and like
oh my God.
He was a little overly done up. And so I had a few of my close friends. They're like, who's that poofta over there? That's my brother. And but they ended up liking him, and we hung out too. So it was like 5 days, I think. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Thursday you do a complete run through, and then Friday is the live. Yeah. And so they didn't have everybody there for that scene, but they had some people there for that scene. So it's like Kirby wasn't there the whole week, and all those guys like Doug Wildey and all that, Bob Kane, and Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri weren't there. They weren't there.
They weren't?
No, they weren't there. Hey, Bob, if you could, I think Wizard published an image. We got to take a picture with all those celebs and artists, and I think Wizard published it.
I have a list of all the people that were there. I'll see.
Okay. Who were all the people before we go any further?
So Bob Kane, like you said, Bob Kane, Jack Kirby, Mel Lazarus, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, Mel Kiefer, Paul Power, you, and Sergio Aragonés.
Oh, Sergio Aragonés. Okay.
But Doug Wildey wasn't in there. There were a couple other guys.
That was the season 1 episode You Can't Win. Let me see if.
Oh, that was like the IMDb page.
Yeah. George Wendt.
But I don't know. I mean, it was so long ago. Maybe I'm just kind of.
If you had let us know, we probably could have found clips of it on YouTube. If you didn't let us know. I did not know this at all going into the show. We were just talking about Newhart. Yeah, the funny thing is nobody really showed up from rehearsals, just kind of me. And Paul was frantic trying to get all the artwork and stuff together for the show. So I ended up just hanging out in his studio because he had like a little office studio on the lot there. And so I just hung out with him and drew a little bit and helped him along with the artwork. And so then when they needed rehearsals, we went in there. And so we ended up standing in for Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri. And so I was Mark and he was Jim. And so we learned all their lines because those guys, they asked for a trailer. Oh,
and they got it.
Wow.
So I got to enjoy their trailer. They didn't. And so they didn't show up until late the day of the filming. So the director and all the creatives were saying, like, if this doesn't work, you and Paul are going to do this scene, because those guys went up and gave out awards. So I think they went up together and then they gave, I don't know if it was Bob Newhart the award or who they were giving an award to, because I think there was a scene where Bob Kane got an award too. So there were scenes where other artists got awards. And so I don't remember who we were giving the award to, but learned all the lines, went up there, did our thing, right? And then Jim and Mark showed up last minute. They were professionals. They knew their lines. And so they swooped in and got all the glory. But they sat me right in front of the podium of the stage there. So there's the little podium and everything there. So I was there with like Bob Newhart's daughter on the show and her boyfriend. And the boyfriend was you would know this guy, like Father of the Bride. Like this guy's been in a bunch of stuff. He usually plays a boyfriend, you know, in the early 90s. And so they're there at the table. And so it's me and Sergio as well. And then there were some other, like, just they hire people, just they're professional actors, and they just sit at the table. So there were a few of those. We got to know them as well. And so you just get good at doing this all day. You just go, you know what I mean? Like you just act like you're talking, but you can't say anything because the audio will pick it up. So you just got to kind of like lip sync. And so, yeah, so there was that. And so where you really get to see me in the show is I didn't get to meet Sergio. He just showed up like just before we filmed the thing. So I was like, all these years, I've never got to talk to Sergio or just like introduce myself. So I told myself I'm going to do that. So as soon as I thought they yelled cut, but apparently they were still filming. I don't remember exactly, but I stood up and then I went over and I shook Sergio's hand. So that's like my big scene in the thing. And it wasn't like, it wasn't scripted or anything like that. It's just something I did because I felt like I had to say, you know, hi to Sergio. And so the sad story was I was in wardrobe, so I had to have the tuxedo or the suit because I didn't, mine wouldn't have worked. So I went to wardrobe, and so they fitted me and all that stuff. So I got this, like, I don't know, tuxedo or suit or whatever it was. And so that guy filled me with so much fear. He said, as soon as they wrap the filming, you get back here and you give me that suit back because I'm responsible for it. And I have no idea who you really, like who you are. Like I'm taking a big chance doing this. And so I didn't want to let the guy down. So I was like, they were taking a picture of everybody, you know, all the actors, like all the comic book artists, everybody. Right. So I just remember that guy's voice. So I was thinking, because I knew they were going to take the picture, but I was thinking I could run over there real quick, strip off my clothes and get back. And as soon as I was getting back, click.
Oh no.
They were wrapping the photo. So I never got a photo with all those guys. So that really sucked out loud just because of my sense of stupid honesty. And I gave that guy my word. But so I got kind of aced out of like that photograph that would have been like historic to have right now. But it was a blast. I mean, the high point was just, you know, getting to hang out with Paul for 5 days and then having my family, my dad and my brother coming over and stuff like that.
No doubt. That's freaking awesome.
That's a cool story. I'm trying to find that picture you're talking about, and I'm not having much luck here.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not in it anyway.
I'm gonna search because was it Bob? Was that what the sitcom was called when he was?
It was just called Bob. Yeah.
I'm gonna search Bob on all the streaming channels and see if I can find the episode. I'll do a little Google foo research.
Yeah, so most likely you'll only see
the back of your head or something. Stand
up, yeah, and then most of the time you'll just see like a side view or 3/4 side because I'm right there. I'm in like shots, but you just can't really tell it's me.
Sure.
Like it could be just about anybody. Because I think what they wanted is, and the way they set these things up, like I thought for sure I was going to be in every shot because the two main actors were having a scene at the table while this ceremony was going on. So they set up the cameras in such a way, like they can just completely bypass you, even though the camera's like right here.
On your shoulder, sure.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell they do that, you know? So I'm just kind of thinking, yeah, this is cool.
I do know that the comic that he makes on the show, Marvel actually did like a mini series of it.
Oh, I'm sure they would do anything. Any TV tie-in, any TV thing they would tie into.
Yeah, there was a big argument between him and the guys who were working on because they wanted to make the character darker on the comic, and they wouldn't let him.
Oh, in the show that was part of the script, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, but I think it's better just to keep it kind of a general, tone for it. I did see Maggie Thompson posted on Facebook. Um, she posted like comics. What was that It wasn't a magazine. It was like a newspaper, Comics Digest or whatever.
Oh yeah, Comics Digest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it had the Mad Dog cover and
Yeah.
promoting the comic book right there on the front of the.
That was the old school. Like they printed in newsprint, and they were like, that was a fun read for a long time there.
Yeah. So let's see.
I can't find any other mention of any other comic book creators except for the ones that we talked about already.
But anyways, great career. I think he was 90.
Yeah,
94.
In his 90s. So good, long, successful career. Great guy.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna find anybody saying anything bad about Bob Newhart.
Oh no, the only thing like that kind of pisses me off on behalf of Bob Newhart is like, that's gotta suck, right? So you just pass, right? So you got this outer body thing, you're traveling to whatever plane, of existence is there, and you're just like angry because it's like, I was 6 years away from 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this
was Betty White too, was like right before 100, I think.
Yeah, she was like 90. She was like 99. She had like 6
months. She was going for 100, and then she passed. Yeah,
that's even worse. That's more of a heartbreaker right there, man. Because you're like, oh man, I'm gonna hold on to this.
But like to look at their careers, like everybody knew who they were. You say Bob Newhart, you say Betty White. They died in their 90s. Everybody knew something about, like, seen them somewhere, whether it's Golden Girls or Newhart or a movie or their old earlier on careers. Like, that's success.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can't even begin to take that away from somebody. You know what I mean? Like, that's legacy stuff right there. But you know what? We're going to get into some campaigns real quick. I'm going to present. Let's do this. Present. And so, yeah, this is Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too. And you guys, I just got this cool video from Champ Ingenti.
Art T-Bear's Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff too is a 60-page, 9x12 hardbound book that will be printed on thick glossy stock paper and is a compilation of artwork from award-winning artist Art T-Bear. This book is filled with images that come from Art's Marvel, DC, Image, and Comicsgate work. That includes convention doodles, commissions, creator-owned IPs, and pop culture subjects that Art has brought to life with his masterful draftsmanship. Art T-Bear's signature style is both lyrical and meticulously realized. The mastery of craft, seen in his work, owes itself to his 40 years in the comic industry, as well as viewing life through his own love of the art form itself. Fans of art prints have the opportunity to back one or both of the mini print tiers. Both are stunning collections of work that you can back individually or together as a bundle. Art T-Bear's Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff too. Back it now on Indiegogo.
Damn, that's a great video.
Yeah, it was so cool because I was on a live stream. The CG group that we have here, so fantastic. Wait, hold on. And I live streamed like a morning hullabaloo or something. I was talking about losing a week because we had that hurricane that came through here. So I lost. I wasn't really able to promote the book, and so Shant was. He just posted in the CG Kings green room, and he goes, "Here's a video, Art. I hope it helps out. I heard that you lost that." So nice. I was like, "Holy crap, man!
Terrific!
Yeah, so generous." So amazing. So he put that video together, and it came out fantastic. I kind of like are they talking about me or somebody else? It sounds so cool. It's like, that guy's cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So this we're about midway through our third week on this campaign. So this is a 9x12 hardcover, 60-page glossy stock book. And it's got all kinds of stuff. We got a quote here from a living legend, which is Kevin Nolan. So click that link in the description. I'll put a link in the chat as well. And so we have some interior pages. I posted on X a new double page, so you can check that out and see another couple pages that are going to be in the book. So I got pop culture stuff here. I got some CG, Comicsgate artwork, all kinds of fun stuff. Got some of my Marvel cable work here. So this was used for all the promotion for the series that I did with Fabian Nicieza. And it was also the cover of the Diamond catalog. I do believe there's some creator-owned IP. There's a few pages of that. That's a cartoon show I created called Hit. We have She, which is Billy Tucci's character. And we got some cool prints. We got Del Keown's Pit. Nice. We got 11 by 17 of Juju, which is the new big bad for the upcoming 30th anniversary of Black and White, which will launch in October. And then we have some different mini prints. We got a set A and a set B. This comes with the signed and numbered book. All these tiers come with signed and numbered books, you guys. So we also have head sketch tier. So this is the commemorative. So this is the new power suits that Black and White will be wearing for the new series. And all the commissions, you guys, all the commissions have sold out. So you guys wanted me to draw, and you guys backed those things really, really quick. So we may be adding some new commissions. So stay tuned. And yeah, you guys, like I said, click that link in the description. I'll put one into the chat here. And if you like what you see, give it a backing.
Yeah. What kind of like your commissions are you doing? Like 11 by 17? Or are you doing smaller, like 3/4 sketch? What kind of stuff are you doing, Art?
I offered 11 by 17s, so that's full figure with limited background. So it's cover quality. So this like finished like Marvel DC kind of style work. And
wow.
Then I had 5 head sketches.
Okay.
Were really, really detailed. So they're a little bit more than just kind of my my doodles. I mean, these were like they're illustrations pretty much. Like that movie piece that was in the body of the campaign. So yeah, so you guys click this link. Bob put it in. Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
Click this link and go back an art book. That'd be fantastic.
I'm not surprised those went fast.
Yeah, I'm always amazed, but it's weird because you go. I don't take any commissions when I'm working on one of the books. Like
sure.
If I'm in the campaign, so I spend all my time actually working on the book itself. So during that year or so, a lot of people were saying, "Hey, commission," and I had to say no, and it broke my heart. So I may be adding more, but the reason I don't want to take too much is because I want to put all my time in the upcoming Black and White Volume 3.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So not all of us are like you, Clint. We can't work at breakneck speed.
I only wish I was faster.
Yeah. When I was younger, I used to be just like Clint Helinski. I had that fire in my belly.
You were working, but the unfortunate thing is you were working on way bigger projects than I've ever worked on. So, unfortunate for me.
It's all freaking sitcom.
Yeah, it's all entertaining people, so that's all.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
People, yeah. What is this? Buy oodles of doodles and make all your dreams come true. I like that.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good slogan.
You know what? I do have a Spawn illustration I can put in there.
Ooh, nice.
If you do Spawn, I'm in. I do have a killer Spawn image for that. So you know what? SF Gaming.
Yeah.
I will hold you to that, and I will post tomorrow on X, and I'll post that piece of artwork so you know that it does exist, and you better keep your word.
I can see Art doing a really sweet ass Spawn, man.
Yeah.
You know
Dude, I'll
what?
tell you what, that friggin' that William Shatner Captain Kirk's pretty
Oh
dope,
yeah,
man.
that's a beautiful Kirk.
Oh, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? You know what? Hey, Clint,
Yep.
do your Pirate Queen,
Sure.
Slave Girl. Get that up. Let me share because I have a tab here, but you can't move it.
Yeah.
So
Hold on. Let me. I got it.
because I'm gonna go find that spawn. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna call SF Gaming out right now.
Call him up. Call him on.
Yeah.
He was talking some shit. Well, you gotta call that out. There we
Yeah.
go.
Okay. So you got the lead here. I'm gonna go find that spawn piece.
Sounds good. So, Pirate Queen versus Slave Girl. The main campaign just closed down July 8th, about a week and a half ago. We are in demand now. I am working on finishing the book right now, and then I am also shipping out Maidens of Mayhem. I've got 200 out of 300 orders shipped out already. So Maidens of Mayhem is going to be shipped out very quickly here. And basically after that, it's going to be finishing Pirate Queen versus Slave Girl. I expect this book to be done this summer and at the printers early fall and September-ish, hopefully shipping in October. So this book is not going to be in demand for very long. And so if you haven't backed it, now is your chance. It is not going to be in demand very long. And if you missed any of the Pirate Queen or Slave Girl books along the way, you can pick them up in this campaign. So you haven't missed out on anything. You can still get everything now. But yeah, I definitely want everybody, if you haven't checked this book out yet, go check it out. This is like kind of my ode to all of my sci-fi love of Star Trek and Star Wars and hot chicks and space girls and all of that stuff. So if you like any of that kind of stuff, you're going to love this book. I'll play the video right here first, and then we'll get into the campaign.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. So yeah, this is a full-on sci-fi adventure. I like to throw a lot of action, but also a good amount of humor, and then obviously your hot babes. Pirate Queen, I've had 2 issues of Pirate Queen already, and then Slave Girl's had 1 full issue. At the end of Slave Girl is kind of the cliffhanger of Pirate Queen and Slave Girl facing off, and that's where this book starts out from. Again, all of these early issues are available in this campaign, so you're not missing out on anything. You can pick everything up. But yeah, Pirate Queen is kind of your classic, like it's space pirates fighting an imperial galactic empire trying to stomp on everyone. And it takes healthily from, Star Trek, Star Wars, all of your kind of genre sci-fi stuff is all heavily influenced in this, but also, hot babes in action. So I'm aiming this as a crowd pleaser for everybody. A lot of fun art and a lot of action. This one, I'm a big fan of this. This is an homage cover to a classic Jim Lee cover with Wolverine and Gambit. So I just placed Slave Girl and Pirate Queen in there. But we've got a ton of variant covers, so you can kind of pick and choose what you're looking for. I did do something that a little controversy. People get a little bent out of shape. This is an experiment for this campaign. This is a CGI finish over my original art. So this is not true I'm saying CGI, AI. This is an AI finish over my original art. So this is not just straight up AI where they're creating everything. This is something that I drew. I met a guy through CG, through YouTube, who, like, I don't know AI. I don't. This guy did, though, and he wanted to kind of experiment and kind of showed me what he did, and it looked, I don't care. It looked really cool, but it was over my artwork, my drawings. So this is an experiment, and if you like TNA, that's a pretty damn sweet TNA, I got to tell you. So, and I show the process down here below, so like nobody can be like, oh, this is just blah blah blah. It's like, no, this is my pencil drawings, my inks, my color flats for the characters, and then it's what he did using AI. It shows you a little bit of what they can do, and people can choose for themselves. And I'm kind of using this as an experiment to see what the fan reaction is, if they're into it, if they're not into it. If people are going to be too bent out of shape, I'm not going to do it again. But if people think it's cool and like it, well, then, whatever, So the reaction has been really good, very positive. People like the cover. So there you go. But that's like one cover out of, this is my original art here. This is pencils and inks, drawings from me. So if you want to get a bent out about AI, that's your own choice. Teach their own.
It's on you.
It's kind of an
exactly. And that's the thing is they're variant covers. I want to give everybody different options, something fun. Somebody's going to like one cover better than another. If you like them all, you can get them all. So that's kind of what crowdfunding is about, is giving the fan base as many options as you can and having fun with it. I'm a huge fan of variant covers. I like collecting them all from my favorite artists. I've got a bunch of different artists that I really like and try to kind of homage. So there's a lot of fun. There's the nude variants in here. If you get a nude variant, they are not going to have the censor lines over them. Those are going to be titties bouncing in the air when you get them in print. And this one is actually, this is my favorite right here. Again, my original art cover with the CGI, or I keep saying CGI, AI finish over it. So I did two covers like this. Again, you can see right here, this is my hand drawing, pencil and ink. My colors, did everything on the left. And then he used AI to kind of give it that finished painted look. I love it. I love the way this cover turned out. Again, you get this cover in print. There's not going to be any censor strips over it. It's going to be a whole lot of titties on your cover. Different colored alien titties all across the board of the kind of alien harem girls cover here variant. So you can get that in the nude variant bundle, or you can get it when you get the top reward tier with the sketch tiers in it also. So a lot of fun options. Here are all the previous Pirate Queen and Slave Girl books you can pick up if you missed any of them along the line. And some interior art pages here, so you know what you're getting out of the book. All this stuff is done. I've got about 8 to 10 pages to finish up by the end of August that I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at it, having it done the end of August, going to the printer in September, and hopefully shipping in October, because the next book is going to be November, December. So we got to keep the line moving, and I'm not slowing down because I've got a ton more ideas and a ton more comics I want to put out. So if you haven't backed us yet, if you haven't checked out the campaign yet, go check it out. We got the link in the description. We got the link in the chat. Fun action comic, great artwork, hot babes, sci-fi adventure. If you love any of those things, definitely check this out. Pirate Queen versus Slave Girl. I'm proud of all this stuff that I've done. I'm having a blast doing it. I love hearing the feedback from the fans. I love seeing everybody post as they get their books. A ton of people have already posted on X that they've gotten their books for Maidens of Mayhem, which has a Pirate Queen story in it. Blue Bombshell story in it. So just having a ton of fun with this. I love hearing the excitement and the feedback from the fans. And if you haven't checked it out yet, check it out. Back the book, and it will be coming soon. Alien Boobas. Yeah.
It's awesome. We got a couple fans there, and SF Gaming. Yeah, I couldn't find it. I have it somewhere. Guaranteed. Yeah.
Lies.
You'll see it in the next day or two because Art's going to find it and immediately post it to X.
Yeah, I'm obsessed now. Yeah, I went through my Instagram. I'm like, I had to have posted this somewhere. It's crazy. All right, you guys. Yeah, so we got 2 campaigns. We got one that's in demand, which is Pirate Queen versus Slave Girl, which is going strong. So go give that a backing. And we got Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too, which is my art book. And yeah, we slowed down a little bit last week because I couldn't get out in front of the a crowd, but we're picking back up, man. It's like you got to keep going. You got to keep pushing, soldiering forward. Yeah. So yeah, it's going good.
We never stop.
Yeah, you never stop. And the good thing about Oodles is it's done. Like I have the files pretty much ready to go for the printer. All I have to do is add the new pages into that file and send it out. So the book is pretty much done, and it will come out before Christmas. So hopefully we'll have that out before Christmas. So if you back it today,
beautiful coffee table book full of gorgeous art for a Christmas present. Like, you can't beat that. That's a no-brainer.
You can't beat it with the stick. All right. So what do you guys want to get into? You want to get into like Captain America, the Brave New World trailer, or do you want to get into the mainstream? I heard some people early on talking about the assassination attempt and stuff like that. Yeah. You want to get into that first, maybe?
Let's stay light first and then get into the heavy stuff later.
Okay.
The Captain America trailer is pretty light. They give us a little bit. We get a glimpse of Red Hulk. That's something. That's not nothing right there. Bob's already skeptical. I can see. I understand.
I'm guardedly optimistic.
Oh, that's high praise from Bob.
I'm putting my heart on my sleeve again. Yeah. I'm hoping to God that somehow Marvel's not gonna screw this up.
What scares me is it sounds like they've already went through 2 reshoots on this.
Yeah.
Like they had a film already, showed audiences, and they went in and scrapped big chunks of it to reshoot. And that's not always always a good sign.
Yeah, the budget on this thing is already $400 million plus.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is they're not going to make their money back on this. It's not going to be an Endgame. No. It's not going to be a Deadpool Wolverine type movie.
Yeah. And even here's the thing. If it's not good, if there is a bunch of woke shit in it, and it's going to die really fast.
Oh, if it's a Marvels and they've done 2 reshoots on it and the budget is probably legitimately what you said, Bob, it's they did 2 reshoots, probably 400 million plus.
Yeah.
And they have an opening weekend of like 40 or 50 million, dead in the water. It's dead in the water.
Hey,
and it'll be worse than Marvel's because Marvel's didn't have those reshoots. It still had a big budget, but it had like a $250 million budget.
Hey, Clint, even if it has an opening of like 100 to 200,000, it's still not going to recoup. Because, I mean, okay, 400 million for the movie, but there's also like 200 million that's going into the advertising.
Oh, yeah, the advertising, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're saying that altogether it's going to be right around $500 million.
And this is where Marvel and Disney have lost their way. It's like they're not making Iron Man anymore. The budget on the first Iron Man, like it wasn't this massive budget. That's what they were having the success with, is they were having lean and mean. And Ryan Reynolds said this week. I don't want more money for my budget. I want just enough money so I can make the movie that I want to make. And that's how you have success. A lot of these guys are bragging about, oh, I've got this massive budget, but you're not going to make it back on the back end with ticket sales. So,
well,
yeah.
another thing what they're doing is they're going into these things without a clear vision, without a good director, and without a good script. So they're kind of like figuring these films out on the fly, and that worked for a while. And it works when you got like Jon Favreau or Joss Whedon or the Russo brothers or something like that. But just filmmaker du jour, you can't really do stuff like that without that brain trust that you used to have. So the thing is, they're not going to find this movie while filming it. You know what I mean? Like, so the reason they make the film and then they got to reshoot because they're still trying to find the movie. Like, what is the story? And that's, you can't really create that way.
No.
There's very few examples of this stuff working. And so let's continue a little bit more on this, and then we can kind of speculate, on what we think the movie's going to do and all that other stuff. But so it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a political thriller, kind of like Winter Soldier, maybe.
It does feel like they're trying to keep that Winter Soldier vibe, which is smart. That was their best movie.
And I bet you that's all found in the reshoots. I bet you that there was a political angle to this, but I bet you it was propaganda. So I bet you they tried to redirect it into more of like a Winter Soldier, like a world threat kind of thing versus like some kind of weird, agenda.
Well, and they better realize they need to be patriotic.
Yeah. Man, Harrison Ford, you can't even recognize that as Harrison Ford anymore.
He's old.
Well, he's like 81.
Yeah.
He looks like Henny Youngman here.
What generation was that from, Art?
It was before my generation. Yeah.
I was going to say.
Look at that. Like, even the back of his neck's wrinkled.
Thank you for the invite, sir. I have to admit, I'm still getting used to the new look. They said lose the mustache or lose the election.
So,
lose
like,
the mustache,
he mumbles almost as much as Biden does.
What do you think? Like, because they're saying that that little bit there is a nod to the fact that it's a different actor playing him.
Oh yeah, it's a little tongue in cheek. We got a different actor. Oh, I had to shave the mustache off. They always like to play that up.
Yeah, some people were like saying that they were upset about it. I'm like, well, what are they supposed to do? The guy died.
Yeah, no, it's just trying to be clever in the writing. I actually appreciate them doing it because they're it's a very subtle acknowledgement to the other actor died. We've got a new actor, but the other actor wasn't the first General Thunderbolt Ross, anyways. Nope. If they brought Sam, what's the guy from Roadhouse? The original Thunderbolt Ross is still around. I can't think of his name. Not Sam Neill. Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott, you mean?
Sam Elliott, yeah. They could have brought him back and made it full circle, but Harrison Ford's like Robert Redford in Winter Soldier. Like, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. I did like was it John Hurd or who's the guy that played the middle Thunderbolt Ross? I did like that guy.
He was great in Civil War.
Yeah, because he had kind of like this. It was a subtle badass. Like, you just you wouldn't mess with the guy, right?
Like, he wasn't impressed Captain America and Iron Man were in the room. It's like, no, I'm calling, like, he had the gravitas to be like, I don't give a shit that you guys are superheroes.
Right. He held his own in those scenes and stuff like that. And for some reason, I think Harrison Ford is a different type of actor. Like, he's the honorable actor. Like, he's not like a badass.
No, I agree.
He's kind of like that kind of guy, like, oh, well, you feel he's an action hero, but when he gets beat up and stuff like that, you kind of feel for him. Like the girls go, oh, he's sympathetic,
He's closer to a normal guy.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't see anything in the trailer so far that's like off-putting. I
No.
just don't think he necessarily has that kind of demeanor.
I haven't always agreed in the past, but I want to make another run at making Captain America an official military position.
But he never was I mean, I guess during the Second World War, he was an
Yeah.
official military. But other than that, and even that, he went rogue. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't taking orders.
You gotta remember. Well, when they had U.S. agent take over, he was controlled by the military.
Right, but he was. I thought he was talking about like kind of Steve Rogers.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go back and analyze this.
Military position.
I think they're just getting a little loosey-goosey with their history.
Captain
Yeah.
America
Yeah,
an
yeah.
official military position.
And if we disagree on how to manage this situation, then what happens?
Work with me, Sam.
Work with me, Sam.
That little clap right there in his look is like, okay, there's like a little sinister behind everything that's going on.
Yeah, this is a villain. This is a villain face right here.
Yeah, that's not like the "I got your back. We're in this together" kind of look.
Well, Edwin's got a good question. He says, "Will Harrison actually care about this character, or is he just collecting a paycheck?"
Yeah, I don't think he's going to care about it.
I don't think he cares at all.
But also, like, I haven't heard like a villain in the film. So is Harrison Ford's character the villain?
I think.
I don't think so.
The Serpent Society is supposed to be the main villain.
And Bob, that's the thing. I'm a little curious about what got edited out exactly,
Yeah.
because I like Seth Rollins.
Sure.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins is big.
And Giancarlo Esposito's character, nobody still knows what he is. I think I figured out who he is, though.
He's AJ Brewer of the
No.
Bridges.
No,
You think he's somebody different than that?
Yeah, I think he's Fordian. I think he's General Fordian.
Oh, okay, and I'm not familiar with that one. So,
'Cause he's
what
more
I'm
connected
worried
to
about
Paul.
is that the Serpent Society and Seth Rollins got edited out. I hope they didn't.
Mhm.
I hope they didn't. I hope they're in this. But also, the leader is in this. The leader.
Supposed to
is
be,
he?
yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. I hope they
If they
do.
do the leader right, the leader could be
Yeah.
awesome in this.
Well, because you got to remember, in the comic, that's how the Red Hulk's created.
Yeah, exactly.
The leader creates him
Yeah.
in exchange for bringing back Betsy Ross from the dead.
And the leader's the same actor from the Norton Hulk movie. So
Oh,
they're
really?
bringing the Norton Hulk leader back.
That's
they're
cool.
Which Betsy Ross is it? It's is it Liv Tyler?
I think it's Liv Tyler from what I hear.
Yeah. So they're bringing multiple. That's why I was wondering why they didn't bring back. Well, and that's Isaiah right there in the gray suit throwing the guy to the wall. That's Isaiah from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Isaiah Bradley.
Yep, who was the original
Yeah.
recipient of the super soldier serum, and then he got stuck in the prison in, was it Korea? Was it the Korean War?
Yeah.
Where they left him there?
And then they experimented on him, and
Yeah. So there's
this stuff's getting convoluted though. Like
it's convoluted, but they're bringing, like, there's some cool elements that they could use. It's just it's a matter of how they write the story.
Well, I'll tell you what needs to come out of this is there needs to come out of it like a coherent, Captain America, just like one Captain America, redefine him, rebrand the character, which it seems like that's what it's being set up to do anyway. And if anybody's seen this, I'm sure all comic book fans have seen this so far. It looks like there is kind of this hybrid Captain America Falcon. So what I'm hoping that they just drop this Falcon as Captain America. Like they just give him a new name or something. Like I hope they don't call him Captain America.
no, they're gonna call him Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it makes more sense for this Bradley guy to be Captain America. He's got super soul.
Yeah, exactly. It would make more sense for him to be Captain America. But he's set up as, I'm sure that's like a brainwashing thing. He tries to assassinate the president.
Well, because the leader has the ability to control people's minds.
Yeah, so.
Too
So
many
the
super
sad
soldiers,
thing is
man.
this guy's going to end up paying the price, and so that's going to be the crux of the. It's going to be the heart of the story, like what happened, why, all this other.
They brought him in to be cannon fodder for like a story. That's like 100%.
Yeah, he's the Uncle Ben in the story.
Yes.
Okay, this is February, so this is coming up.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah, this will be the next Marvel movie after Deadpool Wolverine.
your inner circle's been compromised.
And this is the first big like MCU, like, because I still think of Deadpool as being independent of
exactly.
The
this
Marvel
is the first big MCU movie since Marvel's flopped. So they got a lot riding on this.
But you don't want to.
Okay, so there's like this Bucky character, this young guy that's kind of hanging out with Sam.
That's gonna be the new. He's gonna be the new Falcon.
New Falcon, and he was in Falcon Winter Soldier. They established him in that show. He's Hispanic, so he'll be the new Falcon to his Captain America.
Yeah.
The thing is, man, I saw that whole series. I tuned it out, so I don't even remember this actor. That Falcon Winter Soldier was so bad. Like, it made me mad.
I think Disney, it takes their timetable is so different. I think Disney now is realizing those Disney Plus shows did nothing to help them with their movies, and the movies are where the money's at. And establishing those Disney Plus shows actually lost them money. So I think you're going to see that phased out for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the new Falcon, this guy right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy.
The trap.
I don't like the costume. I don't like any of that.
I think he gets a different one later.
Yeah, he does. It's kind of a hybrid of the Falcon, kind of.
It's almost pure white or something. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, they still haven't, unless he's going to get the super soldier serum. I'm going to have a hard time with this movie in general. Like,
that's the whole thing bothering everybody, I think, is like you don't have super strength, you don't have Captain America's strength, and you can't just you can fly, but you can't do all the stuff Captain America can.
You can't even throw the shield or use the shield because
it's
global.
Yeah.
Okay, is this the leader? Who is this?
This
guy?
is Giancarlo right here.
This is who they add. I think all the Giancarlo stuff is the reshoots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy's working as his assistant, kind of like Sam did for Steve Rogers.
Yeah. He's a tech guy. He like makes stuff for him and things like that.
Yeah, since Stark is out of the picture, which I hated. It's like, we're gonna lose the business or whatever. It's like, you know what? Go up to Pepper Potts, ask her for a loan.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I think I can't remember, but I swear there was a thing where Tony set up a fund, to take care of everybody.
Yeah, and it's not like Stark Industries just goes away. It's like this company still exists
because he wasn't really running the business anyway.
Probably lost some stock value, but wasn't like Tony invented everything that was at Stark Industries.
Yeah, I hated that because it's kind of like they just forgot, the mythology of it, and they just did it for one reason only. Is like there was some kind of agenda. The black guy can't get a break, that kind of thing. And I thought it was pathetic. I didn't think it needed to be there at all. Like,
no, the whole he's gonna lose his family's boat thing, and it's like, you're a freaking Avenger. That's a government. It's a division of the government. You're not. There's no way you're poor.
Yeah. How many people get to take a picture with the president? I assume.
It seems so phony.
Well, it was definitely forced because that whole scene where the cops are drawing down on Sam.
Oh,
I'm like they're not gonna know who he is.
Yeah.
The dude was literally
that's the woke writers in the Disney story room. It's like, oh, he's a black hero. We have to put him in these.
He's got to be oppressed.
The cops are drawing their weapons on him. He's about to lose his whatever. It's like no. Sam is an adult human being. He probably is making his own living, making his own way in the world. He's an ex-soldier. He's one of the Avengers. I think he can like make a living and pay for his family stuff. It's just typical woke reverse racism kind of shit.
Yeah.
The pawn.
You know, the only thing I've seen that even looks big budget is that aircraft carrier. Everything else looks pretty much like how do you spend $400 million on this movie?
You do
exactly.
two almost full reshoots.
Like this basically looks like Disney Plus. Like I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, there's been no CGI in this trailer until we get to the end.
Yeah, I think right here is where he's going to get the super soldier serum, though. When he's in that lab,
Could be.
I think he's going to get it in the movie. So
he has to. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Because otherwise, he's Hawkeye. If he doesn't get super soldier serum, he's Hawkeye, and it's like those guys are not real Avengers to me.
So who are these two? They keep
no idea.
Okay. So there is drama about this. I think the front girl. So they were gonna have the Israeli superhero.
Oh, Sabra, yeah.
Yep, Sabra in this the original script. Because of what's going on in the Middle East, they've done a complete rewrite on her and turned her into a Russian ex-Black Widow character named Sabra. So they basically gutted all the Israeli agent stuff out of it, which to me seems anti-Semitic, but whatever. And so she is going to be a new character that's basically essentially Sabra, but with Russian background.
Yeah, well, she's going to be a former Black Widow. But she's still going to be Israeli, but she's not going to be connected to the Israeli government or the Masood or anything like that.
Yeah, it's going to be through Russia, basically.
Yeah, it's basically
which girl?
Black Widow.
The front girl. I don't know about the black girl in the background. I haven't heard any rumors of what her character is. But it sets up. It definitely sets up like Winter Soldier with who was not Peggy, the younger
Sharon Carter.
Yep, next door, but she's also an agent. She's a love interest for Steve. So I would assume maybe one of these girls is going to be a love agent for a love interest for Sam, who hasn't had a love interest yet. So I would think they're going to throw in a little bit of that angle in it.
Hey, what was the was it Misty or the one character
Misty
with
Knight?
the Misty Knight? Yeah, like from Iron Fist, like that.
Iron Fist and Power Man, but she didn't really cross. They didn't really cross over into Captain America too much, I don't think.
No,
but I'm getting that kind of vibe without the cool hair.
Yeah, the hair is slight.
Yeah. So Harrison Ford isn't the president.
He's just become the president.
He's just become the president. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just won the election.
Yeah. Okay. They're saying, and they're alluding that he's like a Trump kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, and your assassination attempts on the president, like this is all like,
cutting a little close to the.
Cutting it a little close, but it's going to work for them in the long run. It's like people are going to be like, oh, yeah, this ties right in with what's going on in the real world.
And I think this scene takes place in Japan.
Or it's still cherry blossom. So
it
looked like it was Washington.
Oh, it might. Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Yeah. Cherry blossom.
I know they do a lot of globetrotting in the movie.
Yeah. The cherry blossoms are on. This looks like it's the grounds of the White House.
Yeah, that's what I guess.
America, but you're not Steve Rogers.
No shit, but you're not Steve Rogers. Like he doesn't know that. Like I hate that kind of writing.
They got you got to think about this though. When Marvel replaced all their characters, what was the thing they did? They did this thing where everybody was comparing them to the originals, and they were like, "No, I'm better," some stupid shit like that. Where they basically committed character assassination, no pun intended, on the original characters. It's like they had this idea in their head that the only way to lend legitimacy to the new characters was to tear down the originals.
And the woke agenda, because every replacement was either a female or a minority on every single character.
And they were all, and it was always like, they're better.
Yeah.
It's like, bleh.
Well, and I'm also sick of how many times do we have to have the symbolism of him picking up this. You know what I mean?
How many times has he picked up the shield in this trailer? It's like, maybe stop dropping it.
And they've done all that doubt, like, am I Captain America? Am I not? They did that.
Yeah, it's already played out.
Well, I think they're still doing it because most of the fans have not accepted it.
Wait a minute, is this the White House?
It's the White House, yeah.
He threw his shield through the White House like that?
No, I think this is
cut scenes. I think it's something different happening.
I think this is the
I know, I'm making a joke. I thought it was funny though.
I think this
You're
is
so dry, Art, that I can't tell sometimes.
Man, that shield is like he is not the president was right. He's not Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers couldn't do that. So they're going to do the unthinkable, and that's how they're trying to get attention.
Right.
The thing is, the shield went through the White House there, and it still didn't even wake up Biden.
He's still.
Oh, it is still blue. Okay.
Well,
someone said that he's supposed to get a new outfit that's like mostly white or something.
Yeah, there's a scene here where it seems like he's got some amped up flying powers, because it seems like a little bit of Iron Man, where he like shoots through and all of a sudden like breaks the sound barrier thing, where it's a little bit more than just his original flight suit. Yeah,
right here.
Coming up right here.
And if he's got super soldier, I mean, he can withstand, a flight like that.
Yeah.
If not, I mean, it would kill him.
Right there. Right there, that looks like a jet going through the sound barrier. And plus his wings cut through that other jet. And then here's the big scene.
I'm not a fan of this.
He's pretty lean.
Yeah. That's just, the CGI looks really plastic.
So we're supposed to go, ooh,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll reserve judgment. Like, I want to see Red Hulk. I want to see the leader. I want to see some like super powered bad guys.
Yeah, it's cool because you can actually see the old Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he's got the gray. He's got the gray in his hair for sure.
It's weird, man. That looks weird.
I'm all right. Like Red Hulk showing up in this. I mean, they've been building this.
If they do it right, I mean,
they've been building this since the first Hulk movie. So
yeah,
I like you, Bob. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping for the best.
I want it to be good. I want it to
be good too.
I want him to get back on track. I want him to figure. I would realize that there's shit in the bed and just course correct. I'm hoping.
I'd like to go to the movie theater again.
Exactly.
I loved Mackie all through the way. Like I love him as an actor. I think he's great. I think he can carry a movie on his own. So I want to see him do well in this. Like, I think they're going to bring Chris Evans back eventually in an Avengers movie. They're going to bring Robert Downey Jr. back. But I would love to see Mackie do good in a solo Captain America. Whether you're stuck on him being Falcon or Captain America, I don't care. I want to see a good movie with Mackie in it because I think he can carry a movie as a lead. I think he's got the charisma. So I'm cautiously optimistic in this.
Yeah, I want it to be good. I just think, I just don't like, as an idea, replacing a character with another character. Like, Captain America is Steve Rogers. That's it. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. That's it. Bruce Wayne, Batman. Clark Kent is Superman. Anytime you start doing this, it starts feeling artificial because it
waters it down too.
Right. If you're asking me to suspend disbelief, okay, Peter Parker gets bit by a radioactive spider, okay? It happened once. All right. you got me. I'm going along for the ride. But the next guy as well, like as soon as they remember, it was like Barry Allen gets struck by lightning with these, and then Wally West gets like the same thing happens twice. It's like, what? Like,
I do like how they how they kind of sort of retcon that though, where it wasn't actually the same accident, where it was Barry actually is the one who turns him into the Kid Flash.
That's a lot of intricate comic book writing, tinkering, though. It's hard to do in a big movie. Like,
you couldn't do that. But
the thing is, there's always exceptions. There's ways of making these things work. But by and large, I really kind of don't like them because I do think, like you said, Clint, it waters down the original. So then the original isn't cool anymore. So every time you show Mackie as Captain America, you always remember he's not Steve Rogers. Like, he's not that character. So you're also telling it's a harder sell. It's a harder sell. And I understand why Marvel Cinematic is doing it. You know, the movie, why they're doing it. I understand. You got this branded character. It's kind of part of the comic mythology, so you're just kind of going along with it. But as an idea, even in the comics, I never really cared for it, you know. So it's going to be an uphill battle. Also, like, you have to go through all these like machinations. You have to go through all these artificial things to get him to the point where he can be Steve Rogers, right? Like, oh, you're going to be Steve Rogers. Here's the shield, like in Winter Soldier and Falcon, right? The TV show. Why would you give this guy the he has no super soldier serum. None of this makes any sense. You're basically literally putting a target on his back by giving him that shield, because I mean, if anybody's going after him, he can't fight like Captain America. He can't defend himself like Captain America. He can't do any of those things. So basically, you're saying, oh, he's like the super powered guy that can hold his own. He couldn't. If he took a hit from even the real Captain America, he would be dead. You know what I mean? Like, Captain America could take a hit from Thor, you know, but you know, Sam couldn't.
And the thing was, Falcon's a cool character. Like, he was the Falcon. Like, the Falcon has existed in comics. The Falcon is a cool character in and of itself. It's like, the whole idea of the Falcon becoming Captain America, it's contrived. It's steeped in wokeism. It's steeped in like far lefty liberal bullshit. And when that stuff pops up, it always seems ungenuine. It just seems like contrived. It seems forced. Like, when you have a good writing and a good story, you don't need those kind of like crutches and gimmicks and stuff. And the Falcon was an awesome character in and of himself. They never needed to turn him into
and the Winter Soldier was too. And also, I thought the Winter Soldier had more to prove than Sam did. Like, Sam wasn't an angst-ridden character.
Yeah.
He was a guy that just wanted to serve his country. He wanted to do the right thing. He was an altruistic guy. He wasn't a guy that was haunted by anything. There was nothing like traumatic that happened.
Yeah, the Winter Soldier had a lot more to redeem himself for than Sam ever did.
He was there with Steve. Like, he knew Steve when he was a kid. You know what I mean? Like, they grew up together. So this is a guy that almost parallels his life, but went the dark side instead of the light. So he's more of an interesting character, I think, than Sam. And I mean, as far as Captain America is concerned, Captain America. And also, he already has the super soldier serum.
Yeah.
You know, he's already been pre-programmed to be that guy. So you don't have to go through all these weird, you know, ideas to get him super strong, like they're going to have to do with this Sam. I know they're going, well, we're going to tell the origin of Sam. That's what we're doing here. But I don't think it's that interesting. I'm going to read this. Logic's Finest says, even they gave us AIM and the real MODOK, the leader and the abomination. It's still Feige, Disney, and more MCU garbage. Shiny objects won't erase the woke regime and what they make.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, one good movie could change everything, but the thing is, I don't hold out much hope. Although I did hear today, and we can talk about this, the Russo brothers have been wooed back. I think it is final for Avengers, the next 2 Avengers, right?
No,
Avengers
the one after
6,
the
probably.
one coming up, I think.
Okay. And
One
so
will be Secret War.
Yeah,
they're talking about bringing Robert Downey Jr. back, but possibly as Dr. Doom.
Well, this is the thing is, and I don't know if this is a story that you got crossed with or this is just something I read. Downey Jr. was originally in the running and auditioned for the Fantastic Four movie, the Fantastic Four movie at Fox.
Yeah,
for the Doctor Doom role. For the Doctor Doom role, instead of the guy who got it from that plastic surgery TV show.
Yeah.
Doctor.
So this shows you where Downey's career was prior to Iron Man. Is he was competing against an FX actor, and he got beat out by. I can't think of that guy's name because he kind of.
I know who you're talking about. I think most people.
It's a terrible movie.
Yeah, the Jessica Alba Invisible Girl Fantastic Four movie. Mm-hmm. That's what Robert Downey Jr. was trying out for. Was that Doctor Doom? So I don't know if that ties in with what Bob saw or if it's just kind of
no.
It all gets jumbled in the internet blurb or not.
Yeah, basically they're looking at it's another multiverse thing. How in one universe they're this and the other than that, because they're basically kind of doing a kind of sort of soft reboot with Avengers 4, the next Avengers movie. And it's because like one of the things that's going to happen, like supposedly the Fantastic Four movie is going to be set in the 60s.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
And there's there are other little retcon things here and there.
To me, it seems like they're going to do Fantastic Four like they did with Captain America. Is started out in the 60s as original idea and then boost them into the future by the end.
Yeah,
which, it's stealing pretty much all of the Captain America first movie plot, but whatever.
And then just on top of that, they did that with that Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel.
Yeah, they went back.
They time shifted her too. So at this point, it's
why are you doing this, man? You're watering down those ideas.
Yeah,
these ideas are like they're good ideas, but if you use them for every character or just as a throwaway idea, you cheapen them. So by the time they do use it for the Fantastic Four, which is a cool idea. You can pay homage to the comic books by doing that and all that other stuff. You can do like Kirby hardware. You can
give that old school Kirby retro look to a lot of stuff.
Right. And it will all fit. It'll seem organic. And then you have them come back in our timeline. And also, like we've talked on Pontificators a bunch of times, they also would come back with knowledge that the rest of the world wouldn't have. So even though they're coming back, I don't know, 60 years or so in their future.
And there's many easy ways to do it with the FF.
Yeah, but the thing is, Reed Richards would still be the smartest man in the world.
Exactly.
He has seen stuff and has experienced things that nobody on the face of the earth has. You know what I mean? So he would be bringing that back to our world. So you could easily go, he's a man out of time, but
you could do like with all the face stuff that they can do with CGI and stuff. You could have Howard Stark, you have Tony Stark's dad, and you could have Hank Pym, Michael
Douglas.
Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, de-aged. You'd have both those guys in a room being super smart. And you have Pedro Pascal walk through as Mr. Richards, Dr. Richards, and just make them look foolish with like how advanced. It's like, here's Tony Stark's dad, here's Hank Pym, and then here's Reed Richards.
To back up, Clint, that was some of the best stuff they did in the Marvel universe, where they kind of had generational characters.
Yes.
So I thought that was great, and also I thought the casting with Michael Douglas as the original Ant-Man
And
was pretty cool.
it would tie it much stronger into the MCU if you gave those retro looks of Howard Stark, Hank Pym, and then Reed Richards comes through. But then the reason that nobody knows about the Fantastic Four is because they disappeared in a space flight explosion. The way like nobody really knows about Hank Pym, it would work. I can see them reusing those ideas, and then you get a modern day Fantastic Four that still was based in the original MCU. So,
well, they could do like they when the accident shunts them into the negative zone or something, and that's
negative zone. All there's all kinds of stuff in the Fantastic Four.
The problem with that too is they already did that with like the Wasp character, like Michelle Pfeiffer. Like they're just kind of
they're rehashing it.
It's the same idea, and by the time you see it done in the Fantastic Four, you're going to be going, "Yeah, been there, done that."
But I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to reuse these ideas.
Oh yeah. I almost guarantee you that's what they're going to do.
And the thing is, like the Man Out of Time, that's kind of Steve's thing.
Yeah,
you know, that's Captain America's thing. He's a man out of time. If you keep doing that, it's just like you said, it just waters it down, but it doesn't work with everybody else.
Yeah. The only thing would be a twist is that by the time the Fantastic Four come to our present day, they're ahead of the curve, right? They're not like the guys that got to catch up. They're the guys that are ahead of everything, you know? So like whatever they were when they launched off, if they keep the origin, like, you know, what's his name? The Human Torch was like this, like, you know, young guy that dated all these hot chicks and drove fast cars and stuff. Like he was like the cool test pilot kind of guy. And then like his sister was like the fashion model or high society kind of thing. And then like you could still start with that, but by the time they come back, they're like the wise sage, you know, like they've seen a lot of stuff.
It would be cool. It would be cool if like they use this to set up Galactus. Like they're like when they show back up, they're like, "You guys, we got to get ready.
Yeah,
something's coming."
I think
that's what we originally said in Pontificators. That's exactly what we were saying, you know, way back when. Yeah, that they're basically, what do they call those? Not harbingers, those people that come out and warn people before something's going to happen.
The heralds.
Herald.
Yeah, heralds. Yeah, they come out
Silver
and say,
Surfer, Fire Lord.
We gotta, you know, because this dude, we've seen him eat entire worlds. You know, so
and then like that's like they've been trying to stop him for like the last 40 years or 50 years or whatever.
And also it gives a hero beat to why they needed to get back.
Yeah,
you know, so they weren't trying to get back just for selfish reasons. They were trying to get back because they needed to save their world. The thing is, with that story, I can't see how Doom fits in. Like, I'm kind of tired of them pissing away like good villains. Like, let's just do a Doom Fantastic Four story. You know what I mean? Let's just make it Doom and Fantastic Four. Let's spend time.
I would rather have Doom than Galactus, because Doom done right on the big screen could be so freaking awesome.
It should be kind of like the way they did Thanos. Like Loki is the first one that shows up, and it kind of heralds the beginning of Thanos, you know, making his move. It should be like I said what should happen is, like, you know, since this whole thing with Kang kind of fell apart.
Yeah,
you have that you know how the Ant-Man movie ended, where you got the Council of Kangs. Another one of those portals should open up, and like a bomb comes out and it kills everybody, kills all the Kangs there, and then out of that portal walks Doom.
Yeah,
he just walks around. He starts picking stuff up.
Yeah,
he's like, "I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that," and then he leaves. And he's kind of the setup, the beginning.
Yeah.
That is
You know?
great. That is a great idea. I'm a huge fan of like villains fucking over other villains.
Yeah.
And he and Kang.
And Doom's the ultimate, like Doom's like the ultimate, like I'm gonna fuck everybody over.
Yeah, it's like Lex Luthor's kind of that guy too. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'll use you. It'll seem like I'm kind of helping you guys out, or I'm one of you, but I'm really not.
And that's what
use.
Doom is. Like Doom is the villain in the Marvel universe.
Doom is the biggest villain in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Like he's the number one villain. He's not Captain America's villain, he's Fantastic Four's villain, but like he's the number one. Like if Captain America is the number one hero in the Marvel universe, Doctor Doom is the number one villain.
Yeah, and Doom is
Not
that
the
guy
Red
that
Skull. Doom's better than the Red Skull.
Yeah, let me read this. Logic's Fine says, Art, what you're talking about requires Feige to be replaced by someone who will rest the lore and retcon the entire MCU. Until then, you, my friend, are hoping against hope. Just walk away. Hey, you know what? I've already walked away, so I don't really have those expectations. I would like to, feel like I could go into a theater and experience like the Marvel Universe the way, the first 10 years was, because that, I'll tell you, that was a great time, but I'm old enough to know that there's moments in time that are awesome, and then there's other times that, aren't as cool, and everything runs its course. And I really do think that the Marvel Universe is dead. I really don't think that they're going to fix it with the Fantastic Four, and I don't think they're going to fix it with the X-Men, because I think they're still, if they're even talking about the multiverse, like you're bringing up, Bob, that's bad thinking, man. Stop, get rid of that. It's dumb. Time travel, multi-universe, all this stuff, just ditch it. It's not good for general audiences. It's not even good for like comic book, people have been,
you get in the multiverse, you get in time travel, you've lost the general audience. They don't. Comic nerds are like, oh yeah, but the general audience is like, what?
Yeah, you've lost the general audience, and it's problematic. Yeah. If you can time travel, there's no consequences anymore. Yeah. If you can multi-universe, then the universe that you're watching, why do you care? Why do you have any stock in like the 10 years prior? Why do you care about that universe if they're just going to launch another universe? It's kind of like that's what they do with comic books all the time. It's like, oh, well, this is the new 52, or this is the Marvel New Universe, or whatever it is. And it's like, how many times can people actually care about this new universe that you're creating?
And the thing is us as comic book fans know all this.
Yeah.
TV and movie executives, they only see it as like, oh, we can recast the characters and bring it back as a different universe, and we can get them for cheaper.
And we can woke it up.
They're not realizing all the problems that us as comic book fans have already gone through this and seen. It's like, no, this is a bad path. They're not looking at it like that.
Yeah, and I do like what Logic's Finest. You're on fire, dude. The Eternals movie. I didn't even see the movie. The movie was, I didn't even watch it. The Eternals movie destroyed the Celestials, who are the opposition to Galactus. They messed that up, so they will mess up Galactus as well. Yeah, because the thing is, like, they did such a great job of teasing the Celestials in Guardians, where that celestial head, and it was like this whole existence in there and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, these things are so massive that people can live in the skull. Like I thought that was a really cool like little tease, but it doesn't really give anything away. It doesn't really shit on the Celestials. It doesn't really give you any idea of what these things are, other than that they were massive. And then there's that little flashback where they were like, I guess they show
them using one of the Infinity Stones,
Infinity Stones and stuff like that. But still, it doesn't really crap on the point too much until what is it? The Eternals, and then they kind of crapped all over it, and it's like no. And then did you think when Kurt Russell said that he was a Celestial in Guardians 2, did you think that was kind of, did that
feel was stupid? Yeah, I think what they basically did is they bastardized what a celestial is.
Yeah.
Instead of them being an actual race, they're basically any god level, any like at least semi god level character. So it was like,
I thought the human form thing was kind of bad, and then they never really had him like become a celestial, like what you think of, even by their own definition or their own what they set up as a celestial. He never becomes that. So
they're like, well, he's like, oh, he's the planet. I'm like, then show the planet doing something like Ego in the comics. He has a face. He's a living being. Right. He's a gigantic living being. So
right.
Show the planet doing some cool shit or something, you know?
Yeah, they just did this like he was big, but he wasn't like the whole planet. And then they were just kind of like, oh, they're in this cavernous part of the planet. It's like, well, if he's the whole planet, you wouldn't stand a chance. I know they kind of had to, restructure it, but I was really disappointed in. I didn't like the whole movie, to be honest. I thought it had moments, but I was really disappointed with that whole, like, he's an eternal, because it's one of those things where they teased it, and it was, the promise of it was way better than the way they paid it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they screwed up everything. They screwed the Celestials, just like Logic said. They screwed up the Eternals. They turned the Eternals basically into biological robots.
Yeah.
And it was dumb. But yeah, it's like, and as far as this movie goes, this movie's not going to be out until next
February.
year, till February next year. I want it to be good, and I'm hoping that they're not going to screw it up. But I got no faith.
I'll tell you, if they screw it up, then
that's over.
It's over. The Fantastic Four isn't going to work. The X isn't going to work. None of that stuff's going to work.
I think they're banking. They're desperately banking on Deadpool and Wolverine to get people to like buy back in. But if you look at all the projects that they're coming out this year, they got 3 series coming out this year, and it's all stuff that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah,
it's like the Agatha Harkness show. I'm like,
yeah.
Of all the characters,
that
you have access to, that's the one you're going to make a show about.
Yeah,
really?
That's a disaster waiting to happen. Deadpool Wolverine is only good for Deadpool. Like that is not going to, like, if you were going to bring Sean Levy into the Avengers movies to direct, then maybe you could have gotten some of the glean off of it.
Yeah.
But Deadpool Wolverine is not going to extend into the MCU. It's not going to save anything. It's not going to fix. If anything, it'll just open the eyes of some executives of how off they are about these projects.
Yeah.
But that'll take time. All this stuff takes 2 to 3 years to like filter through the process. So it's like Disney Marvel is just realizing now. They're just realizing that Marvel's was a disaster, that Ant-Man was a disaster, that Thor 4 was a disaster.
They got nothing to build on.
And that doesn't mean they're going to correct things. They're just realizing it now.
Yeah. And the thing is like what's going to happen from everything I've seen about the Deadpool Wolverine movie, it's going to call back to all the good stuff that's happened in the past.
Exactly.
That everybody loved. And it's not going to touch on any of this new shit.
New stuff at all.
The exception of the TVA, which is the only thing that they're using. And the only reason they're using that is because that's the vehicle to get him into the
exactly. It's just an easy vehicle for them to like.
Yeah,
exactly.
And but everything else I've seen, like at one point, it looks like they're going to actually show up in the fight against Thanos, because it looks like they're jumping through one of the magic portals. That Strange makes. So it's going to basically remind like, hey guys, remember this? Remember this? Like, we do remember it. That's why we don't like this shit that you're doing now, because it sucks in comparison.
But fans will eat it up, but it's all full of remember berries of all the good stuff that came before.
And the only
did you guys ever see this? Is my daughter was the perfect age, but they did this Lion King. It was called like 1.5 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was basically the Lion King through the eyes of Timon and Pumbaa or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So the two thuggy characters, like street level guys, right? And so it's hilarious because it's all from a different point of view, and it kind of deconstructs the Lion King movie that you already know, and it's better than the Lion King, like because they're just because the Lion King, I'm sorry, it's very, very pretentious. It takes itself a little too seriously, and I think like those two taking the a little bit of the piss out of the original is hilarious to watch. So I think the Deadpool thing is kind of the same thing, where he's going to go, and from a different point of view, he's going to get to make fun of.
Oh God, yeah, and that would be
right. But the thing is, it's still kind of, it's nostalgia, but it's also making fun of it. So it's like, is this the right thing to do at this moment? Like if Deadpool is making references to his own universe and making fun of it, it's like, well, okay. But now he's poking fun at the cinematic universe, that everybody knows and loves. So I don't know. And also I've said it before, the time travel thing, I really think that Deadpool should stay in Deadpool's universe. I don't think he belongs in the MC universe, the cinematic universe. I don't think it's going to work. And anything that's unique about that franchise is going to have to be, you know what I mean? They're going to have to like.
Are you skeptical about how good Deadpool Wolverine will do, Art?
I'm not scared. I think it will do well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm going to like it though.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I don't know that
two different things. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know that it's going to be $1 billion movie, but it's going to do well, a lot better than the last few.
I think it's got a chance to do those big numbers. I don't know that it will.
Yeah.
But if it's well done, and the thing is there isn't going to be anything coming out the rest of the summer. No. So if they start getting the repeat audience of people like remembering the good old days of the Marvel Universe, it's got a chance.
And I honestly think that that's part of what they're banking on with it.
Oh, I think so too.
And they're also playing that aspect down. So this is the first I've heard that they're going to be at the end game.
I've seen this circle, and I'm like, that's a Doctor Strange.
That's not
where
like
everybody comes into the end game.
Yeah, remember how like they got like the sparks around it.
Yeah,
like when because it's the sling ring thing.
They're just giving little teasers out there.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I think there's a ton more cameos than people even realize.
Oh yeah, dude, they're saying that they're like at one point there's gonna be like 5 different Wolverines.
Did you guys hear that they're trying to get? Oh my gosh, what is her name that had the transition? She was Kitty Pryde.
Oh
yeah.
I know you're talking Ellen Page or something. Or?
Yeah, Ellen Page. Yeah, like and they asked her to reprise her role as Kitty Pryde, and she's like, if I can, like bring up the transition aspects and stuff like that, and then they went, no,
yeah.
We don't need you that bad. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There's lots of other X-Men.
Yeah, we don't need you. Let's wrap up with a little bit of this. I think I teased it in the actual title of this stream. So this is we didn't really get into it, and wait, what is this? How do I get rid of this? So this is Bleeding Fool. This is Mainstream Comics Must Die. Comic book creators make light of the Trump assassination. So this is still a kick-ass image. I think a lot of people that were on the fence about Trump being president, this changed their mind. So, so let's get into. So these are a lot of like different comic book creators that had went to X and different places to comment on the shooting of Donald Trump. So what is this? I don't know who this is. Liberals, Donald Trump, and Project 2025 are an existential threat. Also, liberals will get
well soon, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So who is this? This Vida
I have no idea.
Ayala?
Vita Ayala, she's that shitty ass friggin' writer that does a bunch of woke shit for Marvel right now.
Well, that's pretty much going to sum up all of these people because they're far left liberals. They've been the ones pushing the woke agenda in mainstream comics.
Well, yeah,
so
yeah.
It's no surprise that they're sad that the assassination didn't work. Because
how horrible is your life when you actually cheer for a man to be slaughtered in such a horrible way? He still has a young son. You know what I mean?
No, it shows you how pathetic these people are and how miserable they are in their own lives. Like
you hear that they're equating Trump to Emperor Palpatine with this.
Yeah. So Heather Anto says, "I'll just leave this here. The attempt on my life." Yeah. They think this is interesting or humorous.
They think they're clever.
But this is really sad.
It's all the usual. Yeah. And Mark Wade is the king of the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mark Wade says, pray that the shooter was wearing an RFK Jr. t-shirt. I'm not really sure what that means.
Yeah, that joke didn't land.
What it is the Democrats hate RFK Jr. because they know he's going to pull votes away.
He's going to take votes away from Biden or any Democratic candidate. So they hate RFK Jr.
Okay,
and that's why they're hoping that he had an RFK Jr. shirt on because then that would kill his campaign.
I see. Okay, so it's like killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Ross Perot thing from way back in the 90s.
Okay. So then Mark can't stop there. If you're just tuning in, some fucking idiot with shitty eyesight just clinched the election for Trump. Fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he put out another post. He's like, everybody's they're attacking me for this. But I was like, dude, you just basically all these like I know Ethan said this too. He's like he doesn't like the fact that everybody's going after these people and like getting them fired from their jobs and stuff for saying this shitty stuff and everything. And the one thing I will agree with him on is like the doxing thing. Like it's not cool. Don't go to people's place of work. Don't go to their homes because all it takes is one crazy person, and then that puts that's a murder plot. That's a possible murder. So don't do.
You know what? I'll go one step beyond that. Okay, cancel culture on either side, even if you have the best intentions, is wrong. I was raised two wrongs don't make a right. You cannot fix it with another sin. Like a sin is a sin. You can't fix it. So the thing is, if we are calling for cancel culture, like somebody to be canceled, then we really are no better than anybody else.
Well, here's the difference, though. They actually did the things that they're being called out on. Okay, the cancel culture that they were doing to people on the right.
It's always projection from the liberals. They're always accusing the right of doing what they've actually been doing themselves.
Yeah, they're out here celebrating attempted murder and like pieces of shit like that Destiny guy are like celebrating somebody dying.
Yeah.
The stuff
out of one side of their mouth they'll say we need to tone down the rhetoric, and then the other side of their mouth, I can't believe he missed.
I don't think you should lose your job for freedom of speech. I think it should be open debate. I think we can think our thoughts, but I don't think anybody should Mark Wade and try to get him canceled. I don't think these guys, for saying the fucked up shit that they're saying, should be canceled. Because if we do call for that, then we literally are no better. You say you can prove it, you have receipts. It still doesn't matter. Like if a company doesn't want Mark Wade to represent them, right? So like DC Comics or whoever he's working for says, I don't want anybody saying this shit. And if you say it again, you're going to be fired. That's different.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, you got to clarify because
I was trying to.
It made it sound. You guys had plenty of time to explain.
Here's the thing though. Like what I was trying to say is that the two are not equal. Okay. They were getting people fired and canceled for saying stuff like learn to code or posting statistics like crime statistics and stuff like that and saying that was racist.
Or posting I voted for Trump.
Or
They're
yeah,
getting people canceled saying I voted for Trump.
Basically just opinion things or actually posting actual facts and stuff. They were getting people canceled for that when they had full control of all social media.
Right.
Now that they don't have that, but the people that are reporting them for the things that they're saying and whatnot, they're actually saying this stuff. They're actually saying that this guy should have been killed, or like that. Yeah, I don't know who you know this Destiny dude is. He's a real piece of work. He's a piece of shit. He was actually like applauding. He was like, yeah, the guy that died in the stands, like one less MAGA to deal with. You know.
Okay, so what are you saying then? Are you saying that
I don't think that they should. I don't think that they. I think people calling them out on their bullshit is good.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's the thing: these are the rules that they created.
Right.
Okay. So now I don't think that like they should just automatically lose their that Destiny guy got banned off of Kick, which is like one of the major platforms that he works on. I don't think he should have been immediately banned. I think they should have given him like a 3-day ban and say, listen, you keep doing this shit, you're going to be gone. Like that kind of thing.
Warning. Yeah, give a warning.
Yeah, like that. And like some lady.
The thing is, it's like when you raise children, okay, you got to clearly establish the perimeter before you correct them, right? You can't just say what you did was wrong if they never knew what was wrong. So if you're a corporation, you should have a social media guideline. And you should clearly make sure that your employees know this. And if they violate it, then they clearly have violated what you're saying is acceptable and what isn't. So then you could fire somebody based on those grounds, but arbitrarily making something up or the lynch mob going after somebody after their employer saying they should be canned or whatever, that is wrong.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I have no problem with people like calling these people out and like, you know, asking their employee, like if a company they work with was like, you guys okay with people saying this kind of stuff? And then letting the corporation make the decision. Okay. Now the thing that I don't agree with is the doxing and whatnot like that. But here's the thing: the people that are losing their jobs, I'm not losing sleep over it. Okay. Because they were 110% out to take down anybody who even remotely thought differently than they were. So while I'm not the kind of person to engage in that, I'm not losing sleep over it either, because it's not the same thing. It's not like what's happening to these people is that they're not being canceled. They're being called out on their bullshit. So
well, that's always been. It's like freedom of speech. You can say whatever effed up stuff you want. But there's always, it's not freedom of consequence. Like there's going to be consequences to the stuff you say, and the more outlandish and crazy, that's what we're doing right now with what we're doing, like with Mark Wade and these different people. I mean, they said some pretty outlandish, messed up stuff, but I would never say, let's go get, Mark Wade canceled. I would never say that. But I can condemn him and say that that's a pretty effed up thing. And you have to be a pretty messed up person to say that, like that's not a normal, healthy thing to say about your fellow human being,
Well, and like I said, and I have I don't have any problem with anybody some lady got fired from Home Depot or something like that. Something like behind the scenes, like I don't agree with the guy that went to where she worked and was filming it, because you showed people where they work and everything like that. And like I said, some crazy dude can show up one day and just start shooting the place up.
I would argue that that guy that went to her place of employment was a crazy dude.
But like shooting off a message to the company saying, "Hey, are you okay with this?" Like that, I don't have a problem with, and I'm not going to lose sleep over somebody losing their job for something like that. But because it's different, it's different from what they were doing.
Right. It's not like you're calling for them to get fired. You're just putting them on notice. It's like, this person works for you. They represent you in some way, and they said this. Yeah. So you're just kind of letting them formulate their own opinion. You're not giving them the end result.
You're not calling them and demanding that they fire the person.
Right. And I think that is a difference, because basically you're taking it to an extreme, but you're just trying to hold somebody accountable for the effed up stuff that
And here's the thing, though. These are the rules that they themselves have created. So now that it's turned on them, they don't have the right to balk at it.
Yeah, no, that is true.
They're out here going, "Oh, you guys are canceling us." No, we're calling you on your bullshit.
Exactly.
And the people that you work for are like, "Yeah, we're not going to deal with this."
Yeah,
because this isn't just about you making your opinion. You're going to hurt us too.
Yeah, I've said it from the beginning. Hold a mirror up to these people. Let them see what they're doing. Yeah. And so, it's like well, this is what you have been doing. So how does it feel? And there is a certain vitriol. There's a certain feeling you get like oh, that guy got what was coming to him. But also, I think that if you and I know it seems like I'm aiming at you, Bob, but you've clarified.
No, it's okay.
I completely understand it.
Bob deserves it.
I'm a big boy. I can take it.
but yeah, there's like a certain level of like you had it coming to you. You know what I mean? Like you said these things.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, as a society, we're gonna hold you accountable for it. I'm going to go back and see if there's anybody else that said some crazy shit. I think there's a bunch. Actually.
Yeah, well, it's a hot button topic, so there's going to be there's a lot of opinion all along the spectrum. Like I said,
there's a lot of people that have no fear of saying stupid shit online and thinking it's not going to have any consequences. So
yeah, I like that Gail Simone says, "Okay, just caught up with this or the shooting thing." Like this is what cracks me up is that they can't even say
assassination,
like assassination attempt on ex-president.
They've got to word it so it's like it's just a thing that happened, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's just this casual thing, the shooting thing that happened. It may be weird, but I'm going to wait until we know more before freaking out. Listen. What more do you want? It was an assassination attempt. That's fact. It was all recorded. Like, did you when Reagan was shot? I remember I was watching MTV. It was alive. Like they showed it right there, and I was like, "Holy shit!" They didn't say, this might have happened. The shooting thing, They were like, "No, the president was shot."
And even after it was clear what happened, they were like, an apparent attempt on the former president's life or something like that. And now they're even saying, he didn't actually get shot. It was a piece of glass from the podium. So they're demanding that he release medical records to prove that he was actually shot.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, did you not see the other picture from that? You remember that obviously the picture that everybody knows about with him with his fist in the air with a flag behind him. But there's another picture where you could see the first bullet misses him and you could see the bullet going past his head.
But the thing is, like, even if they prove they have all the receipts, what difference would it make?
Someone still try to kill him.
Apparently, he was shot at. There's a man that's dead. There were other people that were shot. The man that fired the
left is always going to try and spin it away.
Because they're married to the ideology.
It's all like we're not to blame. It's like we've trashed and called this guy evil and a dictator and Hitler for 4 years.
8
but
years.
Republicans need to tone down the rhetoric. And we're scared now because your candidate got shot. It's like it's all bullshit. It's all semantics with them. They're always twisting everything to their favor, and nothing is ever their fault. And the other side is always the bad guy. And that will be the way it always is.
Yeah, this is the part that just it always amazes me. Like, and then she says, "This is bad." Well, she's saying that she doesn't really know what happened, before she freaks out. But then she says, "This is bad. It shouldn't happen." What shouldn't happen? You yourself said you're not really sure. You don't want to freak out until you know.
She wants to stay as vague as possible so nobody can pin her down on one way or the other. She was very specific about how she wrote that.
Yeah, right. And then she says, "Good fortune to all. good fortune to all of us.
She's trying to play both sides
She's
down the middle.
One of the architects of the Whisper networks are trying to be nice now.
Yeah.
I just think but it's nice. It's an attempt to be nice, but it's really awkward and forced.
She said nothing. She said nothing that anybody can hold her to. Oh, you're glad that Trump didn't die? Oh, she didn't say that. She didn't call an assassination attempt. She just said this is bad.
She didn't say we were wrong.
No.
Yeah, she said this is bad and it shouldn't happen. But at the same time, I'm going to wait until I know more before freaking out.
It's such a vanilla statement to not get the left mad at her,
right?
Like maybe put out a little goodwill offering to the right, but not have anything locked down.
Yeah, once
Mark Wade here has to.
Yeah,
Mark Wade didn't take the middle ground, and then he has to backpedal.
Right. But once well, I'm not going to say it. Okay, so Mark Wade says because right-wing lunatics and Comicsgate incels have made
living in that dude's head rent-free, man. I tell you,
of sickly twisted. My condolences about yesterday's tragedy.
How was it ever a condolence of any sort?
Right. Claims that I cheer political violence. I have deleted my posts. Oh, you're a hero. I will not give them any fuel to spread their disgusting lies. Well, guess what? We're spreading your disgusting lies right now.
Yeah.
I love that, like Mark, because you're a douchebag.
Christine, my condolences. Go read go back up and show those two posts and tell me how that's a condolence in any way.
Look up the definition of condolence. You're a writer. There was no condolence in there.
I was going to say, as a writer, you should know how shitty that is.
You're complaining about his bad eyesight and that you lost the race. It's like, get your priorities straight, douchebag.
Yeah, he had to delete because he looked like like you said,
he looked like the clown that he has always been. He has the reputation for being hot-headed, angry, far left,
freaking bipolar psychopath.
Asshole.
So what is this? The DC universe?
Yeah,
real Donald Trump. The only corruption comes from your administration. You dumb fuck. Who wrote this?
Whoever's
somebody on their Twitter account. I guess
whoever's in charge of DC's Twitter account.
Yeah, this shows you this shows you exactly
what's going DC on over there.
All about
yeah.
So Bleeding Fool says don't get your hopes up that DC official will find this behavior too toxic to keep Mr. Wade employed. DC's digital format or platform, the DC Universe, also hires social media staffers with the same attitude. Yeah. Wow, this is actually
This shows you how much it's permeated into the mainstream big two comics. It's like they're all. I mean, they're out in California now, but California, New York, you know who you're getting. You know who your employees are. They're all far left liberals. They're out of touch. And this is why comics has been dying for years. Is they don't care about sales. They don't care about the characters. They care about their political agenda, and that's it.
Wow, was this pulled down? Did they make any apology or anything after this?
Nope.
And then they go. I mean, the less said about Eric Larson, the better. It's like everybody knows Eric Larson.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so Eric Larson says Donald Trump being executed for treason on the White House lawn is the closure America needs to start the healing process. Do you even understand? If he would have been shot the other day, we would have mass civil unrest on our hands. You don't even understand anything. You're wishing for this?
He's living in San Francisco. He's surrounded by a bunch of druggies and homeless people, so it's like he's not worried about anything. He's living in his liberal paradise.
That's crazy to say such things. Like really, guys, like for the last, like you said, Bob, 8 years, they have vilified this man and they've created such mass hysteria, completely out of whole cloth, just complete fabrication out of whole cloth. based on no facts. Like they can't even furnish receipts. Like if you got these people in
Trump
a
derangement syndrome. They're all they
it's
can't
medical.
they can't handle it. They can't wrap their head around it. It's just it's a sickness.
Yeah. Forcing them to live under their. Yeah, I think this is kind of with what Bob was saying, forcing them to live under rules. But the thing is, like, I don't want those rules. I would like those rules to go away. I don't even want to acknowledge them. I don't live my life by that, and I don't think anybody else should either. But there is a part of everybody that wants somebody to pay the price for their, their misdeeds.
Well, and like I said, I'm not going to go out of my way to go after contact employers and stuff like that. But if they do lose their jobs and stuff because of
nobody's going to cry about it.
I'm not going to freaking shed a tear over it.
Yeah.
So.
Like I said,
these are the rules. This is the world that you fomented. These are the rules that you cultivated. So now that you're being hit by them,
enjoy
karma.
Yeah.
Karma. It's like Carlin's old joke was like, what was it? What is that called? Where you have like two levels, like one standard is good enough for everybody. Like you pick a standard and then everybody, right, left, everything in between, that's the standard we all live by. But when you have double standards, then, you can't really, nobody can function in a double standard reality. So if they're doing something and they think like, oh, we're on the right side, so we can do this stuff. But you can't because you're on the wrong side. I heard somebody talk about, this is just like a moral situation or a moral statement. It was like, can you do something effed up if it's for the greater good? Like they use a scenario like, could you kill a Nazi, or like, could you kill Hitler to stop Nazism before it rose? Could you do these kind of things, like preemptive, even though it's wrong to kill or to do this, whatever, and maybe he hasn't done anything yet, but he will. Is that morally wrong? And so then you could go, well, how the outcome worked out. So you could go, well, if you shot Hitler in his youth or whenever, then it would be a good thing, because then we would never have had those wars and all that other stuff, right? So I think most people would agree, like, well, yeah, killing Hitler would be good. But then when you say Donald Trump is Hitler, you know what I mean? When you start saying these things, then you're painting this impression that he's so bad that if you were to put a bullet in his head or you were to do these things, that you would be doing the greater good. Right? That's how they feel.
That's how they're framing it.
Right. Like they're on the right side of history. They've said it from the very, very get-go. They're on the right side of history. So, but never even ask themselves, am I really on the right side of history? Without having any self-awareness at all of what they're thinking, what they're saying, and what they're doing.
That's what happens when you're married to the ideology and not the truth.
Yeah.
So you'll find any kind of excuse to justify the way that you are. And that's what they're doing. And that's what they're doing right now with this. They're all like, well, this wasn't this was your fault. You did this. I'm like, you guys have literally been calling Donald Trump an existential threat for 8 years. It's been a constant rhetoric. You've called every conservative evil and Nazis. You've literally compared them to Nazis and Hitler for 8 years, and you're wondering why some kid with mental problems tried to kill the guy.
Yeah,
you had nothing to do with this.
The wake up call is that there's extremes. There's the far right and there's the far left.
Yeah, most
of America is moderate Republican,
middle,
moderate Democrat, and they're in the middle. They're not that far from each other. If you watch Fox News or MSNBC or CNN, you think everybody's at each other's throats. No,
most people aren't.
They're not. 90+% of the population are moderates in the middle that aren't too far from each other.
And that's why I'm really thankful that some of this bigger stuff is happening.
Yeah.
And it's happening close to each other. So there was the debate. I think, like you said, those moderates, they're not tuned into all these MSNBC and Fox and all this other stuff.
Sure.
So, but they usually tune in for the debates, right?
The
Because they
big
want
things,
to stay informed, right? So they tune in, and maybe this is the first time they really got to see Joe Biden of what he's been for the last 3 years, right? So then they're like, "What the fuck? This is the president."
This is the guy who's supposed to run the country.
Right. So then there's that early wake up call, right? There's that reality, like, holy shit. Because then they polled, however they take these polls, they said 75% of America after that debate said that Joe Biden is gone. You know what I mean? Like he's not fit to be president. I'm still amazed that there was 25% that didn't see that, but there's 75%. Okay, so then you go, okay, this is an early warning wake up call, right? And then the president, Donald Trump, thank God he turned his head. We've all seen that dramatic, like, my God, if he did not turn his head, that side of his head would be gone.
It would have blown the back. It would have blown the back part of his head off.
He'd be gone, right?
Yeah, they had that was I can't remember where it was, but they actually had a digital simulation.
Yeah,
there's been a bunch of simulations.
Yeah,
it's frightening to look at. Okay, so then you have the assassination attempt, right? So whatever conspiracy du jour, Clint and I were talking, I don't think anybody's really going to know what the details of these things, like we never really ever do. So I know that it was a botched, like security detail. I know that enough, but the motivation of the shooter, all this other stuff, I don't really care. I don't, he didn't succeed. He's dead now, whatever. I wish that firefighter guy, was alive, but anyway, it didn't happen. But this was the big news. This was huge, right? So all that middle America, those people you were talking about, Clint, those middle people, they saw this too within weeks of the debate. So then you're like, holy shit. And then you get to see the way Donald Trump handled it
and react to it. Yeah.
Holy shit, man. I'll tell you, I felt proud to be an American. Like when I saw him get up and just like fight. And then there's that freaking flag behind him and all that. I'm like,
and the crowd not running and screaming. The crowd is like, yeah, Trump is our guy.
Yeah. And I mean, there was stuff going on. There's that guy, dying, there's all that other stuff that was going on. And
terrible.
You could go, oh, there's those women that were too small for the security, all that other stuff. It's like, fine, we can debate that. Hopefully something good will come out of those things. But he wasn't killed. And I do think that all these two things specifically, like for people like us that follow it, we already saw that, like even like people like Tucker Carlson has I think he said it to Trump, like, they're going to try to kill you, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 6 months ago.
He said it a few weeks ago. Like, this is progressing, and this is what it's going to come to.
Yeah. This is all that's
coming.
Yeah. And so then we know it, but now like mainstream America knows it. So I'm hoping,
as much as the media tries to push it down and hide it, it's like, no, you're not going to hide this.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to spin it. I don't think there's enough time to spin it. I think the people like Wade and some of these other guys that are just fully indoctrinated.
Crying. This is them already crying. The only thing I don't want is 4 months is a long amount of time. I don't want Republicans, and I don't think they will. I don't want you to get too cocky. I want you to push it all the way to the end promote, campaign, everything you got to do. Don't take a lax thing, because this is a turning point, but you got to stick the landing, and Trump has got to win in November.
Oh, they will do everything they can.
They're going to try and do anything they can. There's always, what is it, the October surprise they call it or whatever. And
Well, they're
whatever
saying- yeah.
candidate they're going to try,
Well,
if
like
they
right
can
now,
get Biden out, you
Well,
know, Jill and Hunter are not letting Biden.
they're not going to let him. They're not going to do it. But the thing is that once at the DNC, at the Democratic National Convention, they could declare it an open convention.
They can't, because he has to release. If Biden himself doesn't release his delegates, the Democrats can't do anything.
Right.
Also, he loses that money.
Well,
that money isn't transferable.
He'll lose the donor money. The donor that money can only go to Kamala, I think.
Yeah, you're right. It can only go to the ticket holders or the people that are on the ticket.
There's no good.
Yeah, it's not transferable. So I think that, because I heard a lot of like, well, we'll get this guy in, that guy in. They could try it, but I don't think there's enough time to really brand even somebody like Gavin Newsom. And
Gavin Newsom's not going to win because of California is such a mess.
Dude, they hate that guy down there.
And the schools, like, because of that new policy, they're suing.
God, yeah.
So I think people are starting to wake up to it.
Yeah.
The problem is for me is like there's 4 years of it, and then you had the Obama years too, but there's years of like it becoming part of the fabric of our life. So it's going to be really hard for Trump in 4 years to kind of undo, all of that. But what I'm hoping that he can do, the main thing he can do, is break off these ties with Ukraine.
Yeah.
Keep that money.
He can get the ball started, and the Republicans have a lot of young names that are bigger names than the Democrats' names.
Yeah, they have way more hopefuls than on the Democratic side. That are viable hopefuls. I was surprised with that. Was it DJ Vance or whatever?
Yeah, JD Vance. He's a little bit more far right than I think, but I think they know that they've got it locked down that they can go with a far right VP. But I've got hope with Vivek and DeSantis, they've got some young, good, strong names that the nation already knows about, and there's a good future there.
There's Gabbard. There's Ron Paul. Is it Ron or Rand Paul?
Rand Paul. Vivek's going to be groomed to become president within
I
another
can't
10 years or
imagine
so.
a future where Vivek isn't president. It might be farther down the line because he's so young.
Well,
God damn, that guy's sharp.
Well, he's almost a shoe-in for a cabinet position.
I would think a cabinet position under Trump and like grooming him for the future.
Yeah.
Because he is sharp as hell.
I think they're looking at maybe running Vance after Trump's done.
Yeah.
And then so that you think
then
12 years from now, then Vivek will be in his 40s. So.
And then you start getting into the younger Trumps too.
Yeah.
So the younger Trumps are looking at political futures now.
Well, you know who they
John Jr.,
you know who they
Eric
need
and Ivana are all.
You know who they need to push, brother. They need to push the whole.
He just showed up.
I know.
I just saw the clip.
I've got it pulled up here.
Pull it up, Bob.
Dude, it's hilarious, man.
So what did he endorse the president?
Yeah, dude, he came out full Hulk Hogan mode, man.
Yeah, pulls out.
Here we go. You ready?
Was this last night? No, this is tonight, right?
Yeah, this was about an hour ago.
Man, he looks good for his age.
He looks damn good for how many steroids he's done. Oh, here we go.
Let me tell you something, brother. I've been hanging and banging for 40 days and 40 nights.
He looks lean.
Seeing my prayers, eating my vitamins, living in myself.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
I told you, man.
You know something? When I came here tonight, there was so much energy in this room. I felt maybe I was in Madison Square Garden getting ready to win another world title. Or maybe I thought the vibe was so intense. The energy was so crazy. It felt like maybe I was going to press that no good stinky giant over my head and slam him through the mat, brother. Oh, yeah. But what I found out was I was in a room full of real Americans, brother. And at the end of the day, with our leader up there, my hero, that gladiator, we're going to bring America back together. One real American at a time, brother.
Look at Trump is definitely entertained. Look at that.
Oh, Trump's loving it.
You know something? I've seen some great tag teams in my time. Hulk Hogan and, ooh, yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage. But you know something? I see the greatest tag team of my life standing upon us, getting ready to straighten this country out for all the real Americans.
The fact he can still rile people up like,
You know, even though you guys are real Americans, you better get ready. Because when Donald J. Trump becomes the president of the United States, all the real Americans are going to be nicknamed Trumpites. Because all the Trumpites are going to be running wild for 4 years. So with the power of Donald J. Trump and all the Trumpites running wild, America is going to get back on track. And like Donald J. Trump said, America is going to be great again. You know, when I look out and I see all the real Americans, I think about how Donald Trump, his family was compromised. When I look out there and I see Donald Trump, I think about how his business was compromised. But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero and they tried to kill the next president of the United States? Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
That's awesome.
oh my God.
You know something, Trumpites?
Trumpites.
I didn't come here as Hulk Hogan, but I just had to give you a little taste. You know, my name is Terry Bollea. And as an entertainer, I love you too. And as an entertainer, I tried to stay out of politics. But after everything that's happened to our country over the past 4 years and everything that happened last weekend, I can no longer stay silent.
He goes out of character for the rest of it. But dude, that was laughing my ass off.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that was good. That was
about-
good. That's what you want at the. You want a little excitement. You want to stir shit up.
Well, yeah, you got a mixture of like some deep testimonials. You have some fun.
Yep.
You know, some entertainment. It's all good. I mean, how many days does that thing go on?
The thing is,
All these.
Yeah, they've got a drag, and like not every presenter is that good or that exciting. It's like there's like a few hits in the middle, but like it's like any convention. You're sleeping through half of it, and then you're going out and drinking and eating as much after the convention day is over. So everybody's hung over by the fourth day.
It almost feels like Hulk Hogan did that just for Bob, just to make Bob.
Dude, it was Linda McMahon was there too.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm sure they're big contributors.
She was a member of his cabinet, Trump's cabinet, and they're talking.
Oh, sure, yeah, of course. Yeah.
But and I guess Kid Rock was there, and a couple other people.
Oh yeah, Kid Rock. a lot of the country guys are gonna watch. A lot of the big country guys are gonna come out very pro-Trump real quick here. They've had to keep quiet under the like woke left kind of music industry stuff. But there's a lot of country guys that are gonna, and they're like, country's more popular than it's been in a long time.
Yeah,
There's gonna be a lot of country like people, Kid Rock, and these guys that are gonna want to go with the way the rising tide is headed.
Yeah, and I think at this point, people are starting to really feel. I know I am. It's just like it's now. We got to do it now because you know how like the left says our democracy. They use the word democracy. It's like that's such a bullshit thing. One, it's a republic, and also it's like it's freedom.
Yeah.
Like they don't even use the word freedom. They use democracy because that's such a bullshit term. Like, no, it's freedom. Like what I'm speaking out while we're talking right now, all this is because of freedom. Because I see it being stripped away from us.
They've been trying to stop
almost hourly, and it's got to stop. I mean, I heard just the other day, like you know, in California, that it's against like they're water rationing, and so it's going to be like law. So I guess that there are going to be penalties if you before like they could actually like they would charge you more for certain usage. You know, I think that's even kind of the way it is here in Texas. But now I heard like it's illegal, like you know, like they can actually, I don't know, put you behind bars or whatever. So they're definitely becoming like more like militant, more fascist. More fascist. Yeah. With
well dude, you're talking about a state where like in San Diego and San Francisco, you can walk around in the street naked, standing in a kiddie pool of piss, getting filleted by two guys, and that's okay. But you can't eat a sandwich while you're waiting for the train.
Right, I saw that guy. Yeah,
this dude was like, that's happening downtown, and everyone going, "Oh, that's perfectly fine." Dude's just eating his lunch, waiting for the train, and he gets arrested.
That's what he says too. He goes, "I'm just eating a sandwich."
Just a sandwich, and the guy's like the big fat cop, like, "No, you can't do it. I'm taking you in, running you in, just keeping these streets safe."
Yeah, you sure are. You're doing the Lord's work.
And they think Gavin Newsom is a presidential candidate.
Dude,
it shows you how far off the liberals are.
Well, the thing that bugged me is before we left California, there was a petition to get him thrown out of power.
Yeah.
And so they had enough signatures. They had enough for everything as a go. Somehow it got overridden. And they actually did recall him, but he came out there and he basically said, because what was the guy's name? Larry Elder, I think, the black who was running for it. They're saying, he's like, if you guys take me out of office, that's who's coming in here, and he fear-mongered them, and they re-elected him. Wow.
Yeah.
And now they're saying that he might get recalled again, but I'm like, the same thing's just going to happen. Because the people in Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Francisco, where they have a large majority population, they're just going to keep putting him in.
Yeah.
And also you have like President Biden that said, you know, like early on in his presidency, he said California will be the what do they call it? The model for the rest of the country. Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit. Like if you listen to these guys, they tell you flat out what they're going to do. They just don't, like, we're so used to thinking like most of these politicians are full of shit. They're never going to do any of these things. Right. And they're freaking doing it. And it's insane. But anyway, we should shut this down.
Yep.
We're going on 10 my time. I do appreciate everybody in the chat. I know there's a lot of competition. And I do appreciate you guys hanging out. Anybody's coming in after the fact, you know, later, welcome. And also we have a few campaigns. We have
Pirate Queen versus Slave Girls in demand.
Yeah, and we have and that link, you guys, the Slave Girl is in the description. And so then that's in demand, and we still have Oodles, which is funding, is still live. So let me play this video here. We just got this in from Sean.
This is great.
Art T-Bear's Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff Too is a 60-page, 9x12 hardbound book that will be printed on thick glossy stock paper and is a compilation of artwork from award-winning artist, Art T-Bear. This book is filled with images that come from Art's Marvel, DC, Image, and Comicsgate work. That includes convention doodles, commissions, creator-owned IPs, and pop culture subjects that Art has brought to life with his masterful draftsmanship. Art T-Bear's signature style is both lyrical and meticulously realized. The mastery of craft, seen in his work, owes itself to his 40 years in the comic industry, as well as viewing life through his own love of the art form itself. Fans of art prints have the opportunity to back one or both of the mini print tiers. Both are stunning collections of work that you can back individually or together as a bundle. Art T-Bear's Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff Too. Back it now on Indiegogo.
Yeah, you guys get on that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All that stuff looks so great, Art. I love all those sketches, those head sketches of the different characters. Just freaking gorgeous art, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. I do appreciate it. Yeah. So you guys click that link in the description. Come over here if you like what you see. Give it a backing. This book is pretty much done. I got to add some of these newer pages to the files, and then it's off to the printer. So this should be shipping before Christmas. So if you comic book artist, somebody who likes to collect, art books, things like that, pick one up for them. It's a gorgeous looking book, you guys. I mean, even if I wasn't behind, making this book, I would still think it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
So we got a bunch of prints here. We got some commemorative stuff for the upcoming Black and White. This is the 30th anniversary Juju print. So she's going to be the big bad for volume 3 that's going to come out in October. And so we got a bunch of these print collections. And keep in mind, you guys, the book itself is signed and numbered. And this is the second printing of this book. And the first printing actually sold out and is, highly sought after. I've seen it on eBay for like $100, $120, stuff like that. So there is a market for it. So I'll go back it today. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, go click this link. Click Pirate Queen versus Slave Girl as well, and give it a backing. Thanks to my Pontificator brothers. I know this is a different day. This is Thursday. I do appreciate it. Wednesday was the big Graham Nolan closeout. So we thought we'd give Graham all of our Pontificator eyes. So thank you guys. Have a great night, and we'll see you